Consequence Podcast Network.
This episode brought to you by Nick B.
Nick B, do you have a yacht? I want to know if you have a yacht.
It's Yacht B.
Yacht B.
Yeah.
It's Yacht Bar Loof.
Yacht Bar Loof.
Boat Loof. There we
Boat
go.
Loof. Yacht Boat Loof.
Because it's classy. Interesting. Bar Loof.
That's how you say it. Loof. You got to throw it away. It's a throwaway. Bar Loof.
Oh, yeah. Like you just don't care.
Yeah.
And I have a message for Officer Collar Loof.
Oh, yeah?
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Oh, wow. I don't know what you just said, but it sounded very offensive. That last one sounded like you wanted to get down with...
I'm super uncomfortable right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
Pardon me, everyone.
Jen's getting very animalistic. This episode also brought to you by
Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca.
I guess we haven't talked that Mikey isn't here. Mikey's
Oh,
not
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
He
we'll
couldn't
tell you
make it.
why.
He had to work. Thank God it's Friday the 13th because I'm going to murder that.
Ew, no. You're going to have to beep that out.
Natalie,
Oh.
my girlfriend's in the corner and she looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
That could be like, why don't you use that line on me? I don't know.
So if you want to drown in Crystal Lake, make sure to go to Straight On Tell Disney on Etsy and get yourself some ears so that people can see where you're drowning because they'll be sticking right above the water line.
They can
and
also
can
be
come
used as a
rescue you.
flotation device.
Yes, well, you have to blow into them. Yeah, that's just science.
I
I don't know.
know, yeah, man.
This episode also brought to you by Spider Tom.
So I am adding on to a spider that I've recently done.
We have a spider update.
Oh, we do. Beep, 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 beep. Creep, 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 creep.
Creep, 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 creep.
About the Sydney funnel web spiders.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Right,
I
yeah,
hated
they're the
them.
ones that somebody kept sticking their fingers into the webs or
Oh,
the nests.
don't put your fingers in webs.
No, don't. These things are so gross. Apparently, the Sydney funnel web spider has venom so potent it can kill in just 15 minutes.
Wait, so they can kill humans?
Yeah.
What?
I know, yeah.
And you're sticking fingers in there?
I know, dude. Don't do it.
Ugh.
Okay, male funnel web spiders only grow to be a couple of inches across.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's kind of cold where they live.
It's girthy.
You
But they
said that.
build their namesake funnel webs up to 2 feet underground.
They can't have much success down there.
They trap wandering prey and ambush them, all while having a sturdy underground fortress layered with web to retreat into. Ugh.
Oh, so they hunt on the ground and then pull their prey into their web.
They do, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so they don't wait for the web to actually catch something.
No, they don't.
They're
don't need
working
web.
hard for that prey.
Yeah.
So hard for that prey. This episode also brought to you by
Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Ryan invented daylight savings time.
I love daylight
No,
savings time. Thank you, Ryan.
I hate daylight
That's
savings
because you
time
hate
now.
anything in the light.
That's true. I do thrive in darkness.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, man. Okay, I got so much work to do this weekend, and I found I'm fucking losing an hour. Also, kids don't care about daylight savings time, so my kids just wake up an hour earlier expecting to, like, play.
I hope whatever you want is not on TV at like 2 a.m. to DVR because that shit's not going to tape right.
I know, man. How many
People
episodes
still
of
tape?
Survivor have I missed?
I'm sorry. Are we complaints from like 2005? What is happening?
DVR.
Ryan invented 2005 complaints,
Guys,
too.
you know what? I hate my TiVo. What are we complaining about right now?
TiVo. I named
Daylight
him-
savings time is the best.
No, it sucks.
This episode also brought to you by Mads.
Hey,
And Mads is from Sweden. He's one of the newer ones.
Yes.
Actually, the
Yes.
newest one.
Yeah.
We had one drop off and he like hopped on it the next day. It was insane. So Mads wants us to give some Swedish facts.
Yeah.
And this is not the Swedish fact, but I'm just going to go on the record right now with saying Swedish fish are the best type of gummy snack that there is.
I will agree,
The
yes.
Other gummy snacks suck. Come
They're
at me.
too sweet.
They're more gummy, right? They're
Yes.
not like fruit snacks. Fruit
Yeah, yeah,
snacks
yeah.
are different.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No.
They're actual
As long
gummies,
as we
yeah.
have that clear.
Here's the actual Swedish fact.
Uh-oh.
So they export Swedish fish that we
Okay.
all enjoy, but they also import a shitload of like waste from other countries because apparently they're very good at recycling.
Really?
And they recycle pretty much every other country from Europe's trash.
Oh, I thought you meant they were like giving waste back. I was confused.
No, they take on the waste.
Swedes are
Ooh.
nice, man. They're good people.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Swedes
a very
are the
kind
best.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now it's time for Jen's version of the
Oh.
Patreonicals. Or should we just go ahead and call it the
The patriarchanicals.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any women in the patriarchanicals.
Well, that is not Mikey's fault. I'm going to go ahead and stand up for Mikey right now.
That's true. No.
Yeah, the women that we have on the podcast either want you to be mad at them or
That's
they
true.
want pickup lines from truly Mikey.
And you know what? We'll do what you want, ladies. All right. So Matthew owns a summer camp.
Oh, wow.
It is a Mary Poppins themed summer camp.
I would go to this.
I would too. Yeah. The centers include like umbrella management and like the bags and like how much stuff you can take out of them.
So it's a summer camp for Mary Poppins.
It's
like
Mary Popeye.
Like
Mary Popeye.
You're training to be Mary Poppins.
Exactly.
So in my mind, you were just a kid being taken care of by a bunch of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's what I was
But I
thinking.
like your version better. So
Mine
let's
is
go
when you
with
learn
that.
how to be
Yeah,
Mary
I
Poppins.
love it.
Yeah.
So like you go trying to become a Mary Poppins type figure, and you don't get your umbrella until you pass this
Exactly.
summer camp.
You
Right.
get a training umbrella at first, but you don't get the one with like all of the like the Kleenex thing and the one
Right.
that like can kill
Nice.
people. So Matthew's running this summer camp, and Eddie teaches the class where you have all the birds sing to you. Because remember,
Well, he can talk to animals.
He can.
That makes perfect
and
sense.
he also sings with the animals too. But he gets really bored because he's like the songs are just all Disney, you know? And so he sings all the
Not many squirrels, no hate breed. That's what we're saying. I mean, listen, some do. It's a very small subset, though.
All right. But so he decides he wants to like test the limits of his powers because he hasn't been in Mary Poppins training very long.
Right.
He's kind of just playing around with these spells and he's not exactly sure what they're going to do.
Right.
And so he sicks all of his bird friends onto one of his fellow campers.
Uh-oh.
I know, because he just kind of wants to see if he could do it, but the spell gets out of control. Wait. No, but they're not attacking. They're singing really loud in his ears, and like he's enhanced them with powers.
Right.
So the decibels.
No, I like decimals.
Decimal are like burrowing into their brain.
Right.
And that camper was Derek.
Oh, no.
I know.
Did his head explode?
It did.
Oh, no.
It was so sad. I know. Poor
Damn
Derek.
you, decimals.
I know. Derek was just trying to figure out how to make the medicine turn different colors.
What he was doing was he had to carry a spoonful of sugar through an obstacle course.
He did.
And
Yeah.
he was attacked by all these singing birds.
No, the toy soldiers come out in the boxes and attack you on the way. So Derek was heartbroken.
And dead.
Well, no, yeah, sorry. Derek was dead.
That was the worst part.
Yeah.
Matthew was heartbroken.
Naturally.
Eddie got kicked out of camp.
Ooh.
And I feel bad for Eddie because I think he just didn't know how. It's like the broomsticks in
Right.
the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh,
But
yeah.
guess who was waiting when Eddie got kicked out? It's got to be Isaac. It was Isaac.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm. Tempting him to come to the cannibal dark side.
Singing him to him.
Yeah. I sing you to me.
Oh, I love the movie Australia. I'm sorry.
So Eddie gets kicked out of the camp.
Right.
Isaac is waiting
Right.
to lure him.
Oh,
And so
to the dark side.
Yeah. Well, because they set up a rival camp on the other side of the lake for cannibals.
Welcome to Cannibal Camp.
Cannibal camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with like culinary classes and stuff. Well, and so he calls it Camp Anawana.
Oh, no.
And because he's evil, he also knows a lot of Hollywood agents.
Uh-oh.
And that's how they got their show on Nickelodeon.
Wait, so Isaac was behind the Nickelodeon show?
He was, yeah.
Salute Your Shorts?
He was the showrunner.
Oh, my God.
It started out with Saute Your Shorts,
Ah,
but he
yeah, that
thought
makes
that
sense.
might be too much of a giveaway.
Right.
You know?
Cannibal, right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
And if you want to know what happens next, check in on next week's
the
Patreonicals. This episode also finally brought to you by Chris.
Hey, Chris.
And Chris just wants you all to know that you are loved
yes.
and supported.
And it's so sweet.
Yeah,
it
I love
it
Chris.
means a lot. I know that's a nice way to kind of start the episode.
That's why
around
we
all.
end with it because
I
it's
know,
so
'cause
sweet.
It's so
and-
uplifting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Chris, thank you so much just for being kind.
Yeah,
and
thank you so much.
supportive. Yeah.
So yeah, one of the ways this community has become very, very supportive is pretty much in the Facebook group. So if you're
Yeah.
not in the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. Oh my God, did you guys see that?
Oh no! What is it?
Jason Voorhees just threw a theme music through the window.
Oh no! No, he threw the theme music to Ned's boyfriend through the window.
Oh my
It was a
God.
real power
And
move.
it's all Ford just committed suicide.
Oh no!
Is our theme music that bad?
Thanks for having me on.
Welcome to the Horror Virgin, everybody. I'm Jen.
And I'm your horror virgin Todd, which means I don't like scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. And this way, holy
mate.
shit. Oh my God. I know how to talk, I swear to God. This week, you guys made me watch
Friday the 13th,
Part 4. The final chapter. They're
It's
never
the
making any more
final
again. And joining us this week, or pretty much every Friday the 13th episode, because we make him, is Jonathan from CinemaSins.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yay.
Thanks for having me back.
Seriously, you're going to be on every Friday the 13th.
For real,
it
yeah.
has been
And
decreed.
I'm solo on the couch.
You are,
so
I
we
know.
should address the non-elephant in the
Yeah.
room. So Mikey couldn't join us because he was working tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. So this week, you guys made me watch Friday the 13th Part 4, as we
We did.
mentioned. Thank God it's the final one they made.
It was,
and,
yeah, the very
it's called
last
the
one.
final chapter. It has to
Right.
be the last one.
Yeah.
So have
Words
you guys
don't lie.
There's
Have
no
you-
way they're going to have a new beginning.
Oh, no.
only a year later? Anyway, we'll get there. So have you guys seen this movie before?
Yes.
So Jonathan, you've seen it before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it pretty recently.
Oh yeah,
But
tonight? Was it tonight?
well, it was. I did watch it tonight. No, I watched it a couple of months. The last Friday the 13th, I watched it, but that was the first time I watched it.
It's been a while since
Oh,
I've
yeah?
seen it, but I
Yeah.
have seen it several times.
This was the first time I had seen it, and I'll say it is the best Friday the 13th we've ever done as far as production value.
I kind of agree.
It's so much better
Oh,
than
yeah,
all the
no,
other
yeah,
ones.
It looks good.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
also
yeah.
bonkers as shit. And I think the last one was a little bonkers too. Is the last
Yeah.
one the one where you fell in love with the redhead guy with the jacked up
No,
face?
That was
two.
two.
Oh shit, my
the last
bad. Yeah.
one was 3D.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably my least
oh
favorite
man,
so
yeah.
far.
This one's much better than that one.
I will say the first one is one of my favorite horror movies, and I love
Really?
it. Yeah, but I did really like this one.
Yeah. And Jonathan, when you first saw it, were you into it?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's considered, I think, one of the better ones by most
Yeah.
fans. I don't know that it's like my favorite, but it's. I get why people like it
Yeah.
so much.
Fair enough.
I think it's one of the most developed stories.
Yes, you have the closest to real actors, I would say at this
True.
Oh,
point.
that's a stretch.
I'm saying the closest.
I didn't say that they got there.
yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this fucking movie.
All right. So we start with footage from part 2.
Is it footage from part 2?
It is,
I couldn't
yeah.
tell. And like Friday the 13th are sort of known for this.
For like the first 15 minutes
It's
being
just
the
a
last
recap.
15
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
I guess they don't trust that people didn't see it last
Yeah.
year because they come out every
Yeah,
year, right?
At this point, they
I don't
were.
understand. Like, did they think, oh, everyone forgot everything about our franchise? We have to show them a 20-minute recap.
Right. Well, and it could be because back, like, this was the 80s, like, we couldn't just constantly stream everything. So if you saw this movie and you had no way of accessing the previous ones, like, it would set you up for the story. But I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
It is very weird.
Yeah,
But
we
I
just
do-
had to drive our DeLoreans to the theater.
We
and watch
did.
It.
I know.
We just had to do rails of coke off of the back of a mirror and then go see a movie.
On roller skates.
Why wasn't I alive in the 80s? Like, I was born in the 80s, but I wasn't alive in the 80s.
You weren't really
man.
living.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
not getting busy doing coke.
I do like the way this one is done, though, because it is more like a montage.
Even Jason had a montage.
Yeah, it's not set to working for the weekend.
No,
but,
no, it's not.
But I'll allow it.
Honestly, you know what should have been set to working for the weekend is
What?
that workout video in the morgue
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
There's no music. It's
Oh,
just
that
women
morgue scene.
twerking.
Bouncing booties.
that is one thing I do not like.
working for the
That is one
Exactly.
thing I always forget about this movie is that it starts off like that opening's terrible. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
not the opening, but the morgue.
So if you could like do the Netflix skip recap button
Yeah.
and jump to where the movie actually starts, it starts 2 minutes after the end of the third one.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
except with a much higher production value for the set.
There's like a helicopter shot.
Right, yeah.
It's so funny because it looks exactly like the 3rd one because it's the same set,
Yeah.
but it also looks completely different.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Because
right.
it's shot with like really nice cameras for the 80s and it's just like much higher fidelity. It was awesome.
It's like the first version was like on a high school set.
Yeah, it's like I shot the 3rd one and then a real director came in and shot
Yeah,
this
you
one.
shot the sheriff.
You
Shot
and
the
then-
deputy. I know. I was going there too.
I shot the 3rd one.
Joseph Zito shot the deputy. Sorry.
So we're panning into a much better version of the barn from the third
Yes.
one. And there are all kinds of emergency vehicles around. And we see Jason's body laying on the floor.
Sorry, I loved the ambulance where the ambulance pulled in and they were like, don't worry, they're all dead. And the guy's like, oh man, we rushed here. I was like, why would you talk like that coming onto a murder scene of literally 10 people?
Right.
They're all already dead.
Peel back out, you know?
Yeah, well, fuck you, I'm leaving.
Exactly. Yeah,
But they
yeah.
are packing up Jason for the road. Yeah.
They are. They are packing his body up because we
Yeah.
see him laying in the doorway of the barn. And then we see the axe, and they have a very small bag to collect.
It's
the
like they
axe
put
in.
a whole axe inside a sandwich bag.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where you would be holding it for fingerprints
Uh-huh.
is out, and they're just like holding it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are the same cops from Making a Murderer.
That's true.
It's a small town Jersey.
They don't know what they're doing.
Okay, so they collect Jason's body.
They do. do.
And so now we see them rolling him into a morgue.
There are a few hand jump scares in that barn scene with one of the ladies who's packing him up. But it's like a lady and a guy packing him up. Then you see him get thrown into an ambulance or whatever. And then you see him at the morgue with a guy named Axel who makes a joke about having sex with dead people.
Right, yeah. This trope, and you were talking about this, Jonathan, this trope of the mortician that's like eating on the job.
He was eating a sandwich and then put the unfinished sandwich down on the body and then starts eating it again.
While talking about how hot this dead girl is over here.
That's how you get corona. I know for a fact that's how you get that.
That's how it's
that
spread.
dude wasn't washing his hands.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, well, the Axel is actually pronounced asshole.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was just Axel. Sorry. That makes sense.
It's asshole.
Actually, Guns N' Roses feels the same.
Yeah. So now, after the mortician is talking about hitting on dead girls, he goes and hits on a nurse while
I don't think he was
working.
talking about hitting on dead girls. He was talking about like
hitting parts of
with
them,
his dick.
with parts of himself.
It was a very inappropriate joke.
It was extremely inappropriate.
But she's into it. So like the nurse he's like flirting with is into it.
Yeah.
Jen, can I ask you a question as a woman? If you were single, Corey wasn't around, and then you were like hanging out with a guy and he was like, hey, I've had sex with dead people. Would you be like, ooh, I'm into this dude?
Yeah, I can pretend to be dead.
I'm
kidding.
Quick, let me get naked in my tub. Pour ice on me.
Ew.
Like, that's the weirdest. I hate this trope.
X-Files episode like that.
What?
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of Sex Files.
No, that's the spinoff. That was on FXX.
Ooh, XXX.
No, I would not be into that. That's weird, especially not in the workplace.
No, wait, what?
Like I'm trying to do my
So
job.
if he wasn't,
I got you.
if he wasn't your coworker, you might be into it. This is just a don't date your coworker.
Jen's
Is he
face
wearing
very
a
much
sweater?
says I'm not into it.
No. Hey, for the record, that's gross. Don't have sex with dead people.
Hot take, guys.
Right.
Don't have sex with the cold.
So now Mortician is like, hey, I'm about to close up for the night, and you're not as cold as that dead girl I was eyeing. Want to go meet me in some kind of room over here?
This
where
is
the dead
actual
people are?
dialogue from the movie.
It's pretty close, yeah.
I think that's in the script.
And so they go into the jazzercise / dead person room.
They go into like where they put the dead bodies. They're like in that room.
In the 80s, though, there was these aerobic videos, or there was like these shows that were on where it would just be women in a circle in aerobic outfits, whatever you call that.
Now, these were like bathing suits.
They call
though.
it porn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was clothed
insane. Yeah.
porn.
It was before Showtime, so it was like the tame
And they would
version of
just
porn.
go up and down with their butts.
Yeah,
and
they
that's
would.
what they do.
Yeah, they would.
So we're seeing, and I'm not, because nobody's doing this jazzercise. And I shouldn't say jazzercise because that's an actual
There's
thing.
nothing beneficial about what they're doing as far as like health.
It's pornicized.
Yeah, it is.
It helps your like heart flow, it helps direct blood to different places in your body.
Right.
So your circulatory
Helps
system.
you, yeah, that's true.
And, reproductive health is important.
It is important,
So,
guys. Self-love is very important.
But it's like pornicized.
It is,
you know?
Which I'm, into. Super into that. So it's, I don't know the girl's name, the nurse's name.
We'll just call her nurse.
Yeah,
'cause I
so the
can't remember
nurse is
either.
in there with Axel, and they're like watching the news, and they're talking about Jason or whatever. And
Murderer!
Then,
On the loose, right behind
not
you.
on the loose, dead.
Right. Oh,
They
yeah.
caught the murderer.
Literally right behind you.
Yeah, literally. And Axel reaches back and like pats him on the chest or whatever. He's like, they're talking about you, buddy.
Yeah.
And then
And that's when Jason decides to kill him.
no, yeah, that's what he decides, but he
Yeah.
lays in wait for a little while longer because then the nurse, who had previously said that she wanted to watch the news, she didn't want to jazzercise and bone or whatever the Netflix and chill of that generation was. And then after she hears about the murderer being dead, she like jumps Axel and they start like making out. And that's when Jason's hand. I'm going to do it the whole time. They're the same person. So that's when Jason's hand falls down and like hits her on the leg.
Right.
And then she like bones out. She's like, I can't do this.
And you can tell because she zips her nurse costume
All the way
up. Rage zips it.
It goes all the way to 11.
It does,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So then the nurse leaves the morgue, right?
Yeah.
Leaves Axel there with Jason, and she goes to the periodic table of medicine.
She
room.
does, yeah, where she learns that Chuck Norris's favorite element is the element of surprise.
It's on the wall there.
It is, yeah.
It's
just
actually
his
not on the wall,
face.
though. Do
I like
not
how
pause it, look for that.
All the medicine bottles were like different shapes and sizes. Like there was no way that was an organized room.
That's how you know they're real.
Anyway, she goes into that room, and then we cut back to Axel, who's now watching, I guess, the sexercise.
news.
Yeah.
Sexercise. Yeah.
And then, Jason gets a bone saw and then saws him across the neck. Yeah.
The gore immediately is
ramped up to
a lot
11.
more
Yeah.
intense than it is in the other ones.
Yeah, because he bone saws him and then he like twists his head around.
Oh,
too.
yeah. It's graphic.
But you know what? Justified.
Oh, yeah. Axel's
guy
a
was
bad
a
dude. I think if you have sex with a corpse, Jason legally gets to murder you with a bone
Exactly.
saw.
He's just joking, though, right? Like, he was just telling a bad joke.
Every
That's
joke
true.
has an element of truth.
That's true.
That's true. Except for our jokes.
Right.
We don't mean any of
No.
ours.
But listen, guys, make a tape.
No, don't make a tape.
So, and then we cut back to Nurse Lady in a morgue. I wish I knew her name, but the lady in the morgue.
Yeah.
Right?
The lady in the morgue.
But now she's in the medicine room, and she's like cleaning up a bunch of bottles that she dropped because women be clumsy, right, Jen? And
well, in the 80s they were.
Right.
Well, what was funny, though, is she had rage zipped her zipper all the way up to her
Oh, yeah,
neck.
I know,
And
she
then
got
she goes back into her medicine room. She's like, now I can be
Absolutely.
on my
Yeah,
own.
now I can breathe.
Right.
so, and then she's like picking it up. She's got like a broom, and she's like cleaning up the glass and
Yeah.
stuff, which is smart to do because glass on floors can hurt your feet.
Exactly.
And then the lights go out, and she's like, Axel, I told you I'm not into it.
Right.
When I got molested by a dead man's hand, I
It killed
stopped
the
being,
mood. Yeah.
Which I think is completely understandable.
It is,
right?
but also a risk that you run when you hook up right next to a dead body.
Are you saying, Jen, let me just ask
Oh,
for the
no.
record, are you saying she asked for it?
I am not saying she asked for it.
She does get molested again by a dead hand, though, at this point.
That's true.
Well, is he dead?
I don't know. Those hands are gross.
Those fingernails,
They
he
are.
definitely needs to wash his
Ugh.
hands.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess most people say he's not dead yet, but I don't know. Because, I mean, he's really, like, strong.
Oh,
and-
yeah, he's definitely
Yeah.
a superhero. He's Vin
Yeah.
Diesel in Fast and Furious. Yeah, for sure.
But
And he's a completely different build than he was in the
Right.
last one. He's a little shorter, a little bigger.
He
And
did.
his
He
face
did
looks
bulk
different.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
his face
Yeah,
looks.
he did some
He's like a completely
calisthenics.
different actor.
Right.
Yeah, like, there's
Oh,
no,
really?
there's no continuity between these movies.
What if it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts and he just passes his mask
That's what
along
it
to
is.
the next person?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll most likely machete you in the morning.
I'll most likely machete you in the face in the morning.
Yeah, and little did you know he's British too.
Oh yeah, he's very
Yeah.
British. In fact, they had to replace his voice in this. Actually, in
Yeah.
the book of this, he was voiced by James Earl Jones.
He was, yeah.
In the book, he was voiced by James Earl Jones. Is the most insane
Audiobook.
sentence. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
was.
That works. It checks out. Wrap it up, boys. So,
Make a tape. What?
so anyway, she does get the life choked out of her in this scene, right?
And then she gets stabbed in the
Oh, that's
stomach.
right. And he
Yeah.
like cuts her all the way up or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
this movie's
It's
gross.
pretty graphic.
It is,
Like,
yeah.
it is more graphic than any of the other ones before it.
I think it might be like on par with the first one because the first one does have some pretty
Yeah.
gross things, like with the Kevin
Oh,
Bacon neck.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
these
yeah.
are both Tom Savini because Tom Savini came back for the
Yeah, that's
fourth
true.
one.
I didn't realize that, but that
Yeah.
makes sense because he was amazing.
And if I remember correctly, I think they were Zito and Savini were told they could do whatever the hell they wanted because this was supposed to be the last one.
Exactly. And he wanted to come back specifically because he helped create Jason and he wanted to be the one that killed him.
Yeah.
All right. So now we see two women jogging in the woods and we're going to find
Right.
out that they're mother and daughter.
Yes.
And they're related to Corey Feldman because they jog back into their home and Corey Feldman is playing like an 8-bit game.
Yeah,
or
I mean, it was the
something.
80s. Like,
Right.
that was a pretty
She
advanced
said,
video
she
game.
said the sister, is it Trish and
Trish.
Pam? Was that the
I don't
mom?
know what-
Not
I just
Pam, it
called
wasn't
her mom.
Pam.
Trish and Mom, yeah.
Yeah.
But she mentions he's playing Zaxxon. I don't know if he was actually playing Zaxxon because I don't remember that game. But
Me either. But I mean, it looked like a pretty
Yeah.
advanced game for like 84 or
Yeah.
83 when
Yeah.
they shot
I like when the
this.
moms too. Like, will you go play that upstairs? Like it was that easy just to transport video
You
games.
see him over the next 20 minutes moving sections of the computer up.
Right.
He's just like carrying the huge ass TV. Although at the end, Trish uses that TV to smash Jason.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like he did eventually make the trek upstairs
He
with his
apparently
computer.
did,
yeah.
yeah.
He did, yeah.
But so we see who it will be revealed as Corey Feldman.
Right.
But he has that big alien mask on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That he
apparently
made.
this kid can do everything.
He's
Right.
little Tom Savini.
He's little
He-
Tom Savini. He's also a car mechanic.
And
He's an electrician. Like he can
And he's
do
a badass.
everything. Yeah.
And
He's
he
an
also
8-year-old
may be a
badass.
future Jason. They made his character a like makeup or special effects artist as an homage to Tom Savini.
I mean, they also make him a car mechanic and they also make him an electrician. So like he can do everything. He's like Doogie Howser, but for
that is very 1984 though, because I don't think somebody making a mask would be a character now. Like I just don't
Right.
think that would be interesting to anybody. It'd be like somebody on a computer.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we find out Corey Feldman just leaves the door to his house open all the time.
All the
Well,
time.
they live in the country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
that's
says
the
that.
murderers.
But it's a paved road to their house.
Right.
They literally have another house 20 feet away from their
Right.
front door. They're not in the country.
They know there's been a mass murder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very close by.
Well, do they? Because anytime the mom is looking at the newspaper, she quickly flips it over. In one scene, she looks at the front page, flips it over to the next page twice.
So, Todd, are you saying that the mom asked for it?
I'm just saying the mom
Yeah,
can't
Todd.
read.
Are you saying that?
Does the mom die? We don't know.
I think she.
We
might.
never see her dead body.
That's
Do
true.
they never? Do we? No, that's right. We
I'm
don't.
pretty sure she dies. All right, so now it's Van Full of Teens time.
Yes.
Because we find out one thing Corey Feldman had just said to his mom is that a group of teens rented the house that is in
Yes.
eye line of their
Literally
Okay.
20 feet from the front door.
They're,
Oh,
yeah.
they're not teens.
They're not teens, you're right. But
No.
yeah,
they're like young 20s.
20s.
They're like
Yeah.
35-year-olds.
Some of them are, yeah. But we also meet Gordon, their dog, in that scene.
Yes, not a fisherman as
No.
we had supposed.
No, well, that's what you thought based on his
I
name.
did,
But
yeah.
there were no fish sticks to be found.
No. yeah.
Right. So, and then we do meet all of the cast of, I guess, this house that was rented.
Right. Yeah. So we've got Crispin Glover.
Yes.
And he's talking to someone who's wearing a denim vest.
Can we just call him Teddy Bear because of that one
Yeah,
scene?
let's do that.
His name is Teddy Bear. Let's just
Yeah.
call him that.
And that's like Lawrence Monsoon, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I
He's
think
the
Monsanto.
Last American Virgin. That was like his.
Oh.
That had come out right around that time. So he was
I
actually
remember
one of the
that.
bigger names.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't do anything after this.
No,
but
he did
yeah,
not.
no.
So he got what he deserved.
Yeah. But they keep having this conversation about like his dating computer or something, and I kind of missed what that was they were talking
He was
about.
just being a dick
I think he was giving Crispin Glover
Yeah.
shit because he broke up. Crispin Glover broke up with somebody.
with
Yeah.
with BJ Betty.
Oh, yeah? Was that her name?
Oh,
That's, what,
did he-
that's what they called her.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
so
So her
real
name really
classy.
wasn't BJ Betty.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I was
no.
very confused.
Don't name
I
your
got
daughter
the
that. guys.
impression that she, maybe did something for you.
Like fellatio.
Ooh.
I thought she was just like a Billy Joel fan.
Oh yeah, she's not my lover though.
No.
I thought BJ meant that you fucked a Billy Joel.
It does. That's the pin you get.
That's how you, yeah, it just says BJ on it
you tattoo a BJ on your cheek.
instead of a tear.
What are we,
Right.
Post Malone now? Speaking of which, in the new Netflix movie Spencer Confidential, Post Malone tries to act, and it is scary as fuck.
I've just realized who he is recently.
Well
I've been
done.
hearing all of those. I thought it was like Postmates or something.
Sorry to get us off
No,
Yeah.
that's jeez. I mean,
track.
Wow.
I have never taken
Wow.
us off track. So.
That is amazing.
I meant
Holy
track.
shit.
But they keep saying this is where we learn what dead fuck means.
Yeah.
Although
Oh,
we
God,
got
yeah.
some context clues in the earlier scene in the morgue. But
Yeah, if you find the word dead fuck funny, you'll be laughing a lot in this movie.
Yeah,
They
and
say
they
it a
use
million
it.
times.
They use it like it's a
do.
punchline.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
by itself funny.
because
Yeah.
it means
It's not.
it
No,
means a
at all.
lousy lay.
Yeah, it means someone who's not good in bed.
Yeah.
And Crispin Glover is like worried that he's not good in bed.
He is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's
because BJ Betty left him.
I thought he broke up with her.
Or maybe he did. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe-
He said you broke up with BJ Betty. That's
Yeah.
right. And then so he goes, let me look in the computer and put the info in. And he's like, oh, it says you're a dead fuck.
Yeah.
And then like he believes him. Like,
Yeah.
Right,
like,
exactly.
He doesn't have a real computer.
You know when he was pantomiming a computer keyboard,
Exactly.
that wasn't real, right, Crispin?
now, it was the 80s though, so not everyone knew what computers looked like.
And to be fair, he may have just assumed that he checked with Ziggy, and Ziggy gave him that information. So who knows, man?
Love Ziggy.
Did I just make a Quantum Leap reference
Quantum Leap
on the
was my
podcast?
favorite
Yes.
show when
And
I
it's
was
from the
little.
80s, right?
I had
Yeah.
the biggest
Nailed
crush
it.
on
Late
Scott
80s.
Bakula.
Ugh.
But so Crispin ends that scene by closing his eyes, saying, God, I'm horny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see Michael J. Fox's father complain about being horny,
Yeah.
you came to the right place.
Blonde Michael J. Fox's father.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years after he filmed this, he was playing an old man.
Yeah.
And that to me is funny.
If he weren't so weird, he's not bad to look at.
You think he's weird? Huh. Did you not see him dancing?
That's when he won my heart.
It's 100% normal.
So now they pull over and they're looking at a map because maps existed back then.
Well, I mean,
And-
maps exist now. It's
They
just
do. It's
they're
just-
on a
they're
digital. Yeah,
obsolete.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But so we see Pamela Voorhees' grave.
Oh, and that never comes back. We just
No.
see it. Yeah, and then we also see that lady who's trying to go to Canada or whatever.
Yeah, hitchhiker.
They just needed another victim.
Yeah, well,
They
they don't
did,
know
yeah.
she's a victim because they just drive by,
Yeah.
and then Teddy Bear says something mean because she's a little overweight, right?
Yeah, he just is a dick, though.
Yeah, he's just an asshole. And
hey,
then
you
she
got a sister?
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then she sits down with her.
Well, but first, she's got the best sign. Because it says Canada, like I want to go to Canada. On the back, it says "fuck you."
And then she flicks them off.
Yeah, and I
she
need one
does.
of those signs.
You
man.
do need one of those
I
signs.
do.
Yeah.
And then she eats a banana, and then she gets stabbed in the throat while she's eating a banana.
Ooh.
And then the banana falls out of her mouth while she's stabbed. Oh, it's
but
so
the
gross.
other part, the part of the banana she's holding, gets squeezed to
Oh,
death.
Well, yeah, because she's tightening up because she's got
Right.
a fucking sword through her neck
you
or
like
whatever it
bananas,
was.
turn away when that scene
Yeah,
happens.
the poor bananas. So the banana is like.
Are you feeling bad for the bananas?
No, I'm just feeling
A
bad that I'm not
woman
going to be able to eat
dies in this scene. So
All
anyway,
right.
so she sits down, eats a banana, gets stabbed through the throat.
Yeah, the banana gets squashed. To
Why
death.
are you worried about the banana? A
Because
woman
it's a metaphor
dies.
for her life.
But her life is a metaphor for her life.
That's
Yeah,
true.
This movie's deep.
It does.
It is
Ugh.
deep. It's banana deep. All right, so we get to the Jarvis family, and they're sweet. They're having a Jarvis family sandwich, which is a hug where they squeeze Corey in between the sister and the mom.
Okay.
Okay, so now the teens have arrived at the house. And
Yes.
Natalie and I noticed that Crispin Glover has a man caboodle.
Is it a caboodle? I don't even know what a caboodle is.
A caboodle,
I
ladies.
thought a
I didn't
caboodle was a
either.
poodle.
I thought it
No.
was a cooler.
It's not.
I thought he was carrying a cooler.
So a caboodle is an awesome plastic case where you keep all of your face wash and your like makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a toiletry bag for women?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's a box. It's a plastic box. I've got one downstairs. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. If you are older than 30, you probably have a caboodle. But he's got a man caboodle, which is brown and leather.
It's
And
a man boodle.
A man boodle,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
A
probably
man
just has
boodle.
condoms in it.
I don't think anyone knew what condoms were in the 80s.
No.
But yeah.
So there's a blonde girl, and I don't know what her name is.
A lot of them look alike and sound alike, and I tried to
Sometimes
keep their
they
names
even
straight.
walk alike.
Yeah, and I just had no idea who was who.
I'm sorry, Judy Aronson is a goddess.
Okay, yeah.
Well, and
so
she was brunette. Like I knew who she
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
because she was like the only girl without blonde hair
It
in
was
this
one
movie.
of the earliest crushes. Like it was like Wonder Woman and this girl.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh, you know how to pick them
But so she's
Win
the
the
one that
Carter,
I
man.
do know, and I think her name is Samantha.
in this
Yeah.
movie. Okay.
Yes, and there's another girl named Blonde Girl.
Ah, yes.
And I even tried to look her name up on IMDb, and I couldn't figure out which one.
And she's a virgin, so you think
Yes.
she's the final girl.
We'll call
I
her.
thought she
Oh,
was.
it
I
a-
did think she was the
but
final
this
girl.
could have been like try to throw you off because I mean they definitely
Yeah.
do kind of play around. You don't really know who's going to be the final people that
Right.
are alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we got a final Feldman, so.
The final Feldman.
You have a final boy.
Yeah.
You have a final boy for the next like 3 movies.
So the girls are in the bathroom talking, and they're talking about having a reputation. And this is kind of where
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah.
brushing their hair. I remember this now. Yeah.
Mhm, yeah, he thinks I have a good reputation in the bedroom, so that's where I keep him, which is great. Like, I like Samantha a lot.
Yeah, I
think
don't dislike her.
I would have had a
Well,
crush
she
on
even
her.
makes the comment like people say I have sex with everybody, but that's not true,
Right.
and I just don't give a shit.
Right,
Like, you
which
know,
I love. So, blonde
she's
girl.
the best.
Whoa.
And Jonathan will hear nothing else about
Jonathan
it.
may or may
I
not
feel
have a
like
husband's
I feel
bulge.
like you and Mikey at Black Christmas talking about what's her name with the skirt.
But so she's talking about how she is staying in the room with this Rob Lowe. Not Rob Lowe.
It's Bobo Rob Lowe.
Bobo Rob Lowe, yeah. Bob Lowe,
Ugh.
maybe. But never fear, it's bunk beds.
Yes.
So her virginity is safe.
At
for
least
now.
till later in this
Until-
movie. Yeah.
But I love it when she like invites him to sleep on the bottom bunk. It's
Yeah.
not like weird and creepy. Like,
No,
she
at all.
chooses. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is-
she has her own agency. I like that a lot too.
Oh yeah, this is a pretty sex positive movie
I
for
think so,
being
too.
in the 80s.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So they are talking, and then mom is looking at the newspaper, but not accessing any of the information that the newspaper is trying to give her because she keeps seeing mass murderers' body missing. There was a mass murder right down the street from you. There's
Yeah.
a mass murder that might be right behind you right now, and she doesn't need any of that information. So you know,
She doesn't even care to read it.
she doesn't. Yeah.
She's too busy.
Exactly. Yeah. There's recipes. That's a stereotype.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
right.
believe you said that, Jen.
Kathy Comics.
Hey, remember
Oh my God.
newspapers?
No.
As we all look up information on our phones. All right, so now Corey Feldman is going to bed.
It's so bonkers that Corey Feldman's in this movie.
Yeah, man.
Sorry. Yeah, but now he's going to bed. You're right.
He's
Sorry.
going to bed,
Yeah.
and he's Fright Night style taking a peek across the way.
Oh my
because
God, this scene was insane.
It was nuts. Because, okay, so Samantha and Paul are hooking up in the bedroom, and we don't really see anything, but we see enough. She takes her shirt off.
She almost takes it all the way off.
She does,
And then
yeah.
she turns because Paul walks in, and we
Yeah.
only see full backle, right?
Now, do we actually see Paul? Because it could be her turned around with her hands.
No, we actually
her
do.
own
No, you
hands.
see
we
a
do
person.
see Paul, yeah.
They start
Okay.
making out.
And Corey Feldman loses his fucking mind.
Yeah.
He becomes a monkey in a zoo.
He's like
Yeah.
Crispin Glover dancing.
Yeah,
bed.
like his bed becomes a trampoline.
I'm going to start saying Crispin Glover dancing as a euphemism for masturbation.
Ew, feverishly Crispin Glover dancing. But yeah, it's like his bed is a trampoline, and I think he even like bounces up with his legs in the air at one
And
point.
goes, woohoo!
Right. And then his mom comes in and he has to pretend that he is.
He pretends to be asleep. Yeah.
that he's
We've
not
all done
Crispin
that. Yeah,
Glover
absolutely.
dancing
Yeah,
under the
exactly.
covers. Right.
Yeah.
I've never
And then
done
he says,
that.
Mom, please don't stand by me.
And then, well, she covers him up.
Oh,
Oh,
doom,
God.
doom.
If I can figure out a Goonies one, I'll do that, but I can't.
Oh.
think.
But anyway, the mom does stand by him and
Yeah.
cover him
Yeah.
with the blanket, and
Yeah.
then you just see him like pretending to still be asleep.
Yeah. Anyway, and like the sweat's dripping off his forehead, and then she leaves.
Kids
and
are
he can-
terrible at pretending to be asleep, by the way. My daughter's awful at it. Like, oh no, I'm totally asleep. Yeah. well."
Well, if she's talking to you, clearly she's not asleep. So anyway, the mom leaves the room and he goes back to feverishly masturbating.
He does.
Yeah.
And then we cut.
Yeah, wouldn't want to clean those sheets tomorrow.
He is of the age.
They
They're going
might
to start to
stand,
get super
might
sticky.
stand up
Yeah.
on their own.
Oh.
Gross.
Then we cut to butts.
Yes, we do
Oh,
literally
that was-
cut
Yeah,
from
this is
his
the butt
face
cut.
to butt cut.
Sarah
Yeah.
and Samantha, right?
Well, and I think there are some boys too because
There are.
The
This is where we
shorts.
see
Oh,
the
the sweat
super
shorts.
short
Oh my God.
sweatshirts
They
on
are
the guy
so-
with the polo tucked into his super short sweatshirts.
But it's got pockets, thank goodness,
Yeah.
because if it didn't, they would be riding up. So now they are walking down, and we see who is the last American virgin giving Crispin Glover even
The
more
last American
terrible
virgin is
dating.
Teddy Bear, right?
Is he doing some computer stuff again?
He is, yeah. He says Ziggy.
and Crispin Glover still is like, yeah, okay, I believe you.
Right. Don't
You must have an invisible computer.
exactly.
Crispin
Crispin
Well, it
Glover's
makes sense.
stupid in this movie. And I mean
Crispin
that
Glover's
lovingly.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have the Doublemint twins show up on their
Out
bicycles.
of nowhere. They like
Yes.
literal Doublemint twins, but on two separate bicycles.
Right, but
Yeah.
they're wearing exactly the same thing.
Because this was around that time.
It
right?
is. It is around that time. If you had an identical twin, why would you dress exactly the same in every scene?
And ride a bike.
Well,
Yeah.
and so if you'll notice later when they're wearing the hideous outfits with like the pleated pants,
Yes.
like one of them has pink pants and one of them has white pants, and one of them has a shirt with blue stripes and the other one has a blue shirt with pink stripes.
It's insane.
It is. It's like they coordinated it's insane.
But the worst is you have the part where the dude's like, you got the pretty one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They
yeah,
look
they're
exactly the
identical
same.
twins. That's Teddy Bear. Teddy Bear's
Yeah.
the worst character
Yeah.
in this movie.
And they're British, apparently, which I didn't know for
Sometimes.
like 30
They're only
minutes.
British for the last 20 minutes of their life.
Right.
Hey, can we go now?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
what?
only one of them is British,
That's what
and
they
that's
drink.
the tell for when they're switching places to try
That's
to
what it
trick
is,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, if the
Ah.
British accent sneaks in, you know that they're trying to deceive you into thinking that they're
So we
the
have a
other
switched
twin.
at birth, or not switched at birth.
It's
separated at birth.
switcheroo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switcheroo.
All right. And so they're just down for skinny dipping now. Because
Yeah, they go from, oh, hey, we just met to let's skinny dip
Right.
immediately. Like they do that 2 seconds after they meet.
So
Right.
Todd, are you saying that they asked for it?
They brought it up. It was their idea.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, they can't rope swing correctly.
They can't. Yeah, their version of rope swinging is holding onto a rope while they
Yeah,
fall into
I think
the water.
everyone broke their ankle in this scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
right.
my God, it was insane.
Yeah, but they fix those ankles by immediately taking all of their clothes off.
Yes.
And it's-
Everybody does.
everybody gets
Literally
naked.
everybody does, except for Sarah, who's on the dock sort of sunbathing with all of her
Yes.
clothes on.
Yeah, and
Which-
she has snuck off to the woods and ran into
Which
a
and I
big
sort of
stick.
got like Samantha goes up to her. It's not even English. She's just like, "Hi, am I here? How are you?"
What?
You're like,
You mean
what?
one of the Doublemint twins trying to get her to
No,
sunbathe?
Samantha. The
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. It is
yeah.
Samantha.
My
Your
future,
crush,
my
yeah.
future third wife. Yeah.
So she's on the dock trying to get Sarah to skinny dip because she's the only one who
Well,
has
she's not
it.
on the dock. Sarah's on the dock.
Sarah's on the dock.
Yeah.
Samantha's like hanging on
Under the dock.
completely naked.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Hey, get in the water or I'll kill myself."
Oh yes, that you do hear that
Right.
part.
It's
That part makes sense.
insane.
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
because she threatens and she goes underwater and just stays down there. And then Sarah realizes, oh, she hasn't come up. And then she like floats under the dock and has a dead face.
April Fool's Day style.
Yes, April
Yeah,
Fool's Day
absolutely.
style. Except it is an April Fool's because she surprise jumps up and just dumps
Just
Sarah into
drags
the
her
water.
in.
Except
Yeah.
it's Friday the 13th. So I'm very confused now.
Oh, you're right.
But this movie must take place like on Monday the 6th, like Tuesday the 16th.
Sunday the 15th.
Sunday the 15th.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Fun fact.
I hate that you actually know that.
Yeah, it's a basic calendar.
So this movie should be titled Friday the 13th, Part 4, Sunday the 15th.
It's Friday the 13th.
My name is not Michael.
Sunday the 15th. Quit calling me Michael.
They're the same character. Bite me.
Kinda.
No, they are.
All right, so power move just dumps her into the lake, which is not cool.
No, it is not cool.
Yeah.
What about her cell phone? Sorry.
Exactly. Also, you're
I mean, they had pagers, right? Something.
yeah.
What was
Like,
going on in 84?
little like the day planners.
She ruined all of the coke that was in her pocket. That's what was going on in 84.
Yeah. Also, like, don't throw people in lakes. I don't like swimming in lakes.
No, that's where the
There's-
leeches are.
Exactly, and maybe
especially
the
naked. Ew.
underwater evil
If
city.
I got in a lake, I'd be like in a full like body condom.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
hazmat.
They call them
suit.
wetsuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hey, I'm going scuba diving. Where are the body condoms at?
but yeah,
What are
don't
the-
swim in lakes, guys. So Corey Feldman and sister have pulled up to have a nice, relaxing.
Well, they were going to
day
go
at the
swim
lake.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
just
not
like-
naked.
No,
Right.
and Corey Feldman goes up.
Well, the dog actually is the first. He's like, well, I'm going to go see some boobs.
Well, because he was also going to be skinny dipping. So anyway, Corey Feldman runs after the dog,
Yeah.
and then he runs into boobs.
Yeah, he goes.
and then he starts to
"Boobs?"
do the bed dancing thing.
Yeah,
again.
I have
the Crispin Glover dancing.
I had to know, like, that's a great euphemism. I had to know, did he actually see boobs this
got a
young?
fun fact.
Okay, so you'll talk about it later?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anyway, so his sister Trish comes up and is like, turn around.
Yeah.
And he's like,
"Ooh,
well,
you delicate eyes."
yeah. Well, he wants to keep looking.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But she
Well,
turns
yeah.
him around and then she like says, hey,
Hey.
guys. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're like,
I think
hey.
I have too many clothes on.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, come skinny dipping. And she's like, no, my brother's here.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 8. Stop showing him your dick.
Right.
And they're like, all right, well, come to our party later.
Right.
And she
Don't
does.
wear clothes.
Yeah.
And so now they're driving back, and the car
Oh,
like
my God.
breaks down or something. And this is when we find out that Corey Feldman is a mechanic
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
He's a
Can't
Doogie
see-
Howser of cars. Yeah.
Exactly. He's not tall enough to
But he
see
doesn't
into
fix
the
it, does
hood.
He
No, 'cause
doesn't.
Dude comes by.
Yeah, he does not fix it because this is where we meet the camper.
Right.
I don't know his name. but-
Rob.
yeah, the guy who is to avenge his sister's death.
Right. But
Yeah.
we think he might be Jason at first because we see some
Yeah.
shoe cam.
Yes, actual shoes.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was the brother of the girl who was
15 when they
15
shot the
Uh-huh.
when
movie.
they shot Friday 13th.
And they had to
Part 2.
recut it because there was nudity that
Yeah.
they
Right.
couldn't show because it was illegal.
So is this her actual brother who's going to track down the director? Or is he tracking down Jason for killing her? Because this would have been 2 days. Like, odds are
know.
he may not have known the details of everything that happened.
But he has apparently all these newspapers have written articles on Jason in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
'Cause he has like an insane amount of newspapers.
How many periodicals does this one town in New Jersey have that they have 90 clippings for like
Right.
Jason
And
murders?
he's figured all this out in like 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
he's there.
He's a murderino. I
He
think
is.
he's
That's
just
what it
really,
is.
he's been following it, and then it just happened to like land in his family.
He is both staying sexy and
And-
getting murdered in this movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
he is.
You think he's a Georgia or Karen fan?
Karen.
All
Is
day.
everybody a Karen fan?
Everybody's. a
I mean,
Karen
I like
fan.
both of them,
Yeah.
but Karen Kilgareth can get it because she's hilarious.
She is funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tommy's trying to fix the car
Right.
and then gets surprised by a camper in
What
the
is
woods.
the camper's name?
Rob.
Rob. Okay, so Rob comes in there and knife fixes their car.
Right.
Which is insane. Oh, your car won't start? Let me stab at a bolt until it starts
Yeah.
again.
Well, like
Right.
in the
and
80s,
it works.
It works.
well, in
Yeah.
the 80s, though, you could like start a car with anything too. Like people
Right.
would stick screwdrivers in ignitions and just start cars.
Banana peels and exhaust pipes, and it
Yeah.
started her
That
car.
Yeah.
was what?
So he's in the car because now that he's magically stabbed the car back to life,
Yes.
they're giving him a ride home. And he's asking if there are any kids around.
And Corey Feldman is behind him.
There's a kid back
Well,
there.
and that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It is
Even in the
weird.
80s,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah,
that would
and
be
also he says, I don't think anyone lived this far into the woods.
Exactly.
They're on a paved road.
Right.
Like, what do you
Yeah.
think goes on in here? Oh, and he pulls up to their house.
Right.
And there's another house right next to it. Like, they're in a
and
subdivision.
they're nice
Exactly.
houses.
Yeah.
They are nice houses.
It's
yeah.
insane.
Like these
Yeah.
people have money. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. This is not just like I'm just out in the wilderness and
No,
Right.
they're
you're
not
not in
roughing
Montana. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're not in the Badlands.
Also, you're a drifter. Stop asking weird questions about where the sexy teens are.
Well, no, he was asking where the kids are, Jen. It's worse.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Because his sister was a kid.
I mean, yeah. Where are the underage people?
At least they're being honest
That's
about
fair.
it.
Yeah,
at this
okay.
point.
They're
And
coming in
so,
head on.
You know what you do when you have a drifter you find in the woods who's
You
asking
bring
you
him
where the
home
kids
with
are.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
invite him
It
into
was
your
Oh,
house.
that's
the
a great
80s.
though. He's just dragging him in there, and she's
Right.
like, the mom's like, "Hey,
Hey, what's happening right now,
Yeah.
child?
Why are you dragging that full-grown man up
With
into your
a
bedroom?
gun. He has a rifle on his
And
shoulder.
the mom hadn't had the dad around for a while. She might want to talk to Rob.
Yeah, she
It's
might have been
I
like,
finally
hey,
have a father figure.
let me holler at you, Rob.
Yeah. Well, and so they go upstairs, and Corey Feldman's showing him all the cool masks.
Yeah, and then like the alien arm he developed
Yeah.
or
What did
whatever.
you say that when he ran in with him? Though he was like, I need a father figure.
I did, yeah.
Rob will be your father figure. Put your alien arm on me. Sorry.
What? Alien on
puts
my
his-
meat?
Put your alien arm on me. Oh my God.
That's what it sounded like. Sorry.
On my face.
Ugh.
Now I am your dad.
Oh my God.
Wow. Anyway, so Corey Feldman showing him
hurt
his
you.
mask. So Corey Feldman showing him the masks and all that shit in his room.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of cool, and it's sweet.
I
even
mean,
though,
yeah, it's sweet, but it screams my mom and dad are getting divorced and I need a positive male role model in my life. Yeah. And listen, I've been there.
So now we're back with the kids, and this is my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Wow.
This
You have a
is-
favorite scene?
I do. This
Okay.
is the dance party.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes. I was not prepared for this the first time I saw it. So we've got the teens, and I keep calling them teens. They're like in their early 20s.
They're probably
or
early
something.
20s, yeah.
42.
But it's more fun to call them teens. So they're having a dance party, and the two twins are now in their almost matching outfits.
Yeah.
And Crispin Glover is asking one of the twins to dance.
And she does dance.
She does.
He does not dance.
No, he flails around.
He has some sort of seizure.
Now, it is a musically timed seizure.
Yes.
But it's just Google Crispin Glover dancing if you don't know what we're talking
It's
about. because
amazing.
You
Yeah.
just have to see it.
I don't really think that he knew he was being filmed at that moment. I think he's just dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
he's
think-
really
I
into
don't
it.
think he cares.
Dance. But it's awesome. Like, I love it. If I could dance like that, I would do that all
Jen,
the
you
time.
can dance like that. You're doing it right now. I don't know why you felt the need to make sound effects, but guys,
Because this is what it would sound like.
oh my God. Oh my
Everything
God.
can be a slam dance poem if you flail your body around.
Oh my goodness. What is happening?
I honestly, Jonathan, I wish I could have described all of that for the listeners because it was
Dancing,
batshit
guys.
insane.
But that's what he's doing. He's just flailing his
He
body
is.
around.
yeah. Let's just go back to a normal podcast after that. That's gonna work.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You can't unsee it.
No. Oh my God.
Hey guys, I'm awesome at dancing.
So anyway, so they're all dancing, and they're not really all dancing, but Teddy's like,
Most of them are laughing.
yeah, Teddy Bear's on the couch trying the same line on every twin he can find in the room.
Hey, you want to kiss
He
my teddy
literally
bear?
has a teddy bear. Like
Yeah.
he is the carrot top of pickup lines. He brings his own props.
He's
Yeah.
like a fucking,
And no one enjoys
what was
it.
What was the gag guy in the third one that had the suitcase with all the stuff?
Oh,
I hated that guy.
Shelley?
So,
Shelly.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
Shelley.
I hated that guy so much. So how do we get out of the dancing scene? Like, what happens?
The world implodes on itself.
Yeah, and then Paul's
when
like,
this
hold
dancing
on,
happens.
Jimbo, let me put some better music on. He puts like on some like
No, it's not circus radio music.
It's like Lawrence Welk.
but it is like old music.
It is like
It is.
1930s,
it's something
like,
that
yeah.
like a 42-year-old teenager would not have put on in
Right.
1984.
Exactly. But they all start slow dancing to it.
Maybe they really are 42, and that's why they're
I
playing that
mean,
music.
yeah.
It's Stockard Channing from Grease playing a teenager.
I love
It's
that.
like Steve Buscemi walked into the high school saying, "Hello, fellow kids. You guys want to dance some hip hop?" And he just plays like some sock hop music, and they start dancing. But then he starts slow dancing with one of the twins, right?
He does.
Well,
yeah,
he starts
yeah.
slow dancing with his girlfriend, and then
Oh,
she
sorry.
like walks away for some reason.
His
and then-
girlfriend Samantha, right?
yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then one of the British twins sneaks in.
Yeah, she cuts in.
The
she tries to
non-British
kiss him.
twin, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and we're talking about Samantha and Paul now, not Crispin Glover anymore. But yeah, she like Samantha walks away for 5 seconds, and then
The twin
non-British
gets in
twin
there,
is
yeah.
in there, man. And
Yeah.
Paul is kind of receptive
And I
to
mean,
it.
wouldn't Sarah and Samantha be pulling that girl's hair at this point? Like she'd be something would be going down.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
they'd
would be
just
like-
They'd be like, "Hey, they're together." Yeah.
right?
But
exactly.
apparently
Like,
it's
what
a
are you
key
doing?
party or some shit because everyone's just down to clown.
Yeah, I think that after they saw those
I
dance
missed the
moves,
fishbowl.
But
Always check
while
for a fishbowl when you go to a party.
Do
everybody.
key parties actually exist?
I don't know.
I'm sure they happened in the 70s.
I think you should just check for a fishbowl anytime you go to a party.
Absolutely.
Right. If there is no fish in there.
Yeah.
You're the
There's
fish.
Exactly. All right, but while all of this is happening, Trish and Rob are leaving, and this is when we find out that Trish's parents are separated.
Right.
And she says, "Hey, you can come by and shower whenever you need to." And my brother always leaves the door open, so hey, come murder us all, please.
Yeah, I mean, this is not something you tell a drifter with a rifle, but
No,
yeah,
he
she
was
does.
just asking where
She's
the kids
I mean,
are.
you
Yeah.
were looking where kids, and I mean, my brother's a kid.
Yeah,
we leave the door open. So
You
come
know where his
over.
bedroom is because you were just in it.
Oh, my God.
And luckily, he turns out to be an okay guy.
But anyway, so they're like walking out of her house, and they're like in her driveway.
Yeah.
And they're like having this sort of cute moment. And he kisses her on the cheek and then bones out.
It's sweet. And so now we're back to Crispin Glover and Denim Vest. They're talking in the kitchen. And Denim Vest, I'm sorry, is
Teddy bear.
Teddy Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like stuck his hand down his pants and is like trying
Oh,
to
yeah, he's got a
hand grab him.
Jesus.
I did love that,
Fucking Jesus.
again, I don't think Crispin Glover realizes he's in a movie. He just thinks he's on set and like yelling at the actor next to
Yeah.
him who's
Right.
put his hands like, he thinks this is funny. He's like yelling at the director.
Right.
And the director's like, yeah, we're going to use this.
Uh-huh.
We're going to use this.
Right, because
Yeah.
one of the twins comes in and is like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going on?
because you know Crispin Glover and that dude did not get along. You
No,
know, they're-
no.
I don't think Crispin Glover gets along with anybody. I don't know anything about Crispin Glover. I can't
Oh no,
imagine.
he was a shit on set. from
Yeah,
what-
he's a
yeah.
weird dude.
He's got an extensive friend group of rats, though.
I've heard that.
So now the twins are putting on a show of drinking and trying to steal everyone's boyfriends. And Jody gets mad and rage skinny dips to try to get her boyfriend
To try and lure Paul
Right.
outside. And she doesn't check to see if Paul's following her.
No.
But she walks down to like the river bank or lake bank or whatever they
It's
call
a
that.
muddy pavilion.
It's gross,
It
whatever
really
it is.
is.
There's
yeah.
no one getting in that lake.
Yeah, it's
There's
like
one person getting in, but she's going to get naked and stand around and then yell
Well,
for
and
Paul
think
for a
about-
while.
The other thing is they drove somewhere else or walked somewhere else to swim earlier.
They
so
did.
Why
Right.
would they be getting? I mean, obviously this was not an area they could get in.
What they
Right.
didn't show you was the 45-minute walk she took to get to the lake, never checking to see if Paul was behind her.
right. That's why it took him so long to get out there.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
I kind of got the impression that was just in their front yard all of a sudden.
I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. But she sees a inflatable boat.
Like a raft.
Yeah,
Mhm.
raft in the middle of the lake. So she's like, oh, I'm going to get naked and swim to that. So she
Right.
does.
Mhm.
And then, Jason murders her through the boat.
Yeah, Jason surprise jumps out the lake at her, and then we see her back with a knife coming up through the
Yes.
through the back of it, and it's sad because I liked her.
It's very sad. Yeah.
All right, so now Twin is dancing with Paul, and she signals that she has stolen him by stealing his hat
Yes.
and putting it on herself.
Yes.
which is a real dick move. And
Well,
somebody,
I mean, honestly, Paul's girlfriend's dead.
Well,
it's
that's
time for
true.
him to move
Time for him to
on.
move
Yeah,
on.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's grieved long enough. It's been 20 or 30 seconds since she left the house.
right?
Is this when Crispin Glover and one of the twins sort of hook up and go upstairs?
Not yet. No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
This
Sorry,
is
sorry,
when
sorry.
Paul finally remembers he has a girlfriend
Oh,
who's
yeah.
outside.
It's about time, Paul.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I mean,
Rude.
to be fair, those denim shorts are probably cut into circulation.
They
off.
are
They probably
very
wasn't
tight.
thinking about
And
sex.
they're
True.
very high waisted.
They are,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and so he goes out to skinny dip, and this is when we saw how much mud there was.
It was
Oh.
so
Gross.
gross. Yeah, it was so gross.
and also because of the patriarchy, and because he may be a never nude.
He's a never nude.
He is,
Yeah.
And I don't want to shame people because
No,
that is
absolutely.
a real thing.
And there are dozens of them. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. So he doesn't get all the way naked.
He doesn't.
But listen, it's probably because that water was real cold and it was like in his contract that if it's not like 72 degrees or warmer,
Yeah.
he's wearing pants
It's also because of the patriarchy.
and his tiny penis.
I mean, there's some overlap there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's swimming out, and he swims out to the raft because he's seen Dreamboat Samantha.
Yeah.
Dead Boat Samantha.
Dead
He
Boat
just
for
now.
sure.
sees
yeah.
hair poking up out of a boat. He's like, "Well, that's a chick." So I'll go.
Yeah,
check it
he's
out.
like, I
I'm gonna
definitely could
find
have sex
out.
with that. Yeah.
And so when he gets there, he sees that she's dead.
Right. And unlike Axel, he's no longer interested.
Right. Ooh,
Right.
Yeah. So he swims back to the dock.
Oh my God. This is when he gets stabbed in the dick.
Yeah,
He
harpoon
gets
dick
harpooned.
stab.
Oh, it's so rough,
It
man.
gets like lifted up, right?
yeah. He
Yeah.
gets lifted up by the taint by harpoon gun.
It gets raised.
Oh, it's so it's so gross.
Gross.
This honestly was the grossest part for me. Well, maybe not grossest. I think the hand was the grossest, but
Oh, yeah.
I cringed the most because oh God, it's got a. Oh.
Oh Oh, yeah.
Why you got to hurt a dick?
Jason's
Well-
like, fuck the double standard. I'm
I
gonna
know.
stab
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
in the dick.
Jason's a feminist.
He is.
And so now Rob hears the dick stab screaming.
Yes, he
and
does.
so he knows that something's going on. So he gets his big machete.
I like to think he knows it's a dick stab, too. He's
Yeah.
like, that is a dick stab
There
scream.
is a particular type of scream that
It is.
men only emit when they got stabbed in the dick.
Or if there's just a breeze right by your dick.
Oh, yeah. Do you get stabbed
It's really
with
all the
air?
same scream. I mean, it all hurts.
He walks far enough away that he leaves his tent unprotected, and then he sees a shadow. So he goes back to his tent and realizes that in seconds
Oh,
and
yeah.
silently,
Yes.
Jason has, I think he could do the Zach Morris time freeze.
It
Because
must
he-
be a timeout. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Classic timeout move. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Because he goes in the tent.
He ransacks it and
He
then
does.
breaks the rifle in half.
It's a real power move.
It is.
you
Yeah.
know?
He's like, I don't
Because-
need no
I
rifle
think
in
I
my
have a
life.
feeling he pissed on everything, too.
He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He said, this is my rifle, this is my gun. There are many like it, but I broke this one.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And I'm going to pee on everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, he immediately goes back and it's empty, right?
He does,
Yeah.
yeah. And so then we cut back to Crispin and Pink Pants Twin, and they're going upstairs.
Yes.
And his line for her is, this is a neat room. And that works.
It does.
Yeah. And they start
and then
hooking
she
out.
immediately takes her top off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they and that's when we learn nobody in this movie wears bras.
And also, that is a very structurally unsound bed
Yeah.
because they lay on it for 2 seconds and it falls apart. And they don't stop.
They don't. Nah.
They just have sex on a slanted bed, which
You don't.
listen, I get it.
You guys ever broken a
I
bed before?
get it. Yes.
I slept on that bed for a couple of months because I just didn't want to deal with it.
What? You slept in a semi-recumbent posture for months because you broke a bed during
I
sex?
just wanted to relive all the moments.
As I was thinking, I was like, you're getting into bed smiling every night.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I know why this is like
Or
this.
broken a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Oh,
suck.
yeah?
No, what that is you've got money,
Exactly. Yeah.
so you can afford nice
This
things.
was like a very old
it has
bed.
nothing to do with sexual prowess. So anyway,
All right.
they start having sex.
Yes, and now
Wait, this is Crispin Glover?
Yeah.
Crispin Glover,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they're still laying on it afterwards. Somehow I missed this breaking the bed thing.
Yeah, they're laying on it afterwards too,
Oh,
but they're
okay.
like
It can
reclined
still
a little
function
bit.
as a bed,
Yeah.
you know.
It's still a mattress.
It's just more like a swing at this point.
right.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about this more. I'm not. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
How does sex work? Sorry.
Please tell me.
I mean, we are the horror virgins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's on brand. All right. So now, speaking of how does sex work, Teddy Ruxpin
Yeah,
has
Teddy.
found, Teddy has found some old timey racist porn.
Yeah, this is insane. He's literally holding a reel of film,
Yeah.
Then finds a
like
projector.
looking at form. Yeah,
And
so
it-
we see him looking at the reel, and then cut to dark room with he found a projector.
Right. And it's like old timey, like silent era, because it's like,
It's just girl. It's like Nickelodeon shit. It's just
I
girls
don't. I don't think
dancing.
there's even any music.
too.
You just hear the
Well,
of the
that's the
reel.
slapping?
Yeah. That's him, Crispin Glover dancing, quote unquote.
Yes.
And then
to
he's
himself.
calling the girl on the screen pig. He's a lovely
Oh,
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a horrible individual.
Well, but so there's
He's a
like
cat.
racist stereotype dancing, and then there's a title card that says, "Oh yes, do me again," and then there's
Oh, I didn't see that.
and then "Oh, it feels good that way," like the silent era film.
no,
you know,
I've
the
never
title
watched
cards.
silent era porn.
Have you
Jen.
not?
No.
Well, it's thrilling. I've seen the first 30 seconds.
Jen has a very specific porn fetish.
I just like to be able to read while I'm
But
doing
she
it.
watches it in a broken bed.
Yeah, that's how you edge, because the reading takes you back from the moment. So now the twin who's not currently having sex with Crispin Glover goes upstairs.
And she's like,
She's British all of a sudden.
Yeah.
we've got to go.
Yes, hello. I'm so tired I can't hide my accent anymore.
And I love the sister who is currently boned goes, take an umbrella with you.
Exactly.
Like, she's like, fuck
you.
off. Yeah.
Right. I'm doing this guy.
Yeah.
We already broke the bed. We're going for it.
Oh, yeah. We're doing
Exactly.
this again.
And so now non-Crispin Glover having sex with twin is leaving.
That's how she's billed in the credits, guys.
It is. So now non-Crispin Glover twin is leaving.
Or is she?
She's trying to leave because
Yeah.
it's suddenly raining.
It is. And it's raining pretty hard. She bundles up,
is.
though. She's like a poncho and she walks to her bike.
Well, I think the Crispin Glover twin conjures the rain by saying an umbrella, because that's the first that we've seen that it's raining.
No, we hear it's raining, though, in
Oh,
that
yeah?
scene. We can hear it raining, but we don't see it until she walks
I
outside.
thought that was other sounds that
No.
the rain.
I don't think you know what masturbation
This was
sounds like.
Crispin Glover. Oh, I mean,
Yeah, he didn't make it that wet in there.
ooh, I mean, it is Crispin Glover.
Yeah, it is Crispin Glover. What are we talking about right now?
He says, "Get your damn hands on me."
Gross.
So now we don't really see what happens, but we see her get shadow stabbed.
It zooms in on the house as she walks by the camera, more or less.
Yeah.
And then we see in a lightning flash her get stabbed,
Oh.
which I thought was really, really cool. It was really, really effective. I liked it.
Because then a couple of seconds later, we see her body get machete thrown and stuck to the building.
Yes, it was insane.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we're back to Sarah and Bob Lowe.
Bobo Rob Lowe.
Bobo Rob Lowe,
Yeah.
sorry. And so this is when she... Okay, so she's sitting on the couch and she is being respectful and she is letting him know that she is consenting
I
to
thought it was
getting down.
awesome. Yeah,
I did
especially
too.
for the 80s. This is like a time period where John Hughes has a rape scene in his movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's played for like funny and silly.
Mhm.
So I thought this was like really sort of, and it's insane that I'm going to say this. It's a little bit ahead of its time.
I think so too.
And it's
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, part 4. Anyway,
Yeah.
because she's like, hey, will you do me a favor and sleep on the bottom bunk? And he says, oh, did you want to sleep on the top
Yeah.
bunk
And
tonight?
she says,
like they were switching
"No."
beds, right? And then she
Yeah.
says no.
But
yeah.
it's really sweet because she also has said, I want to go upstairs. And she's, no, I'm not tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tired of not having sex with you. And so they go upstairs, but she wants...
I feel like Jen said that before.
And so now we cut back to the mom, and the mom has gotten home and found out that all of the lights are out.
Yes, the
Yeah.
power is out at her place.
It is.
Yeah.
And that nobody's home and that the dog is gone.
Yes.
So she's home, and then she goes out and looks for Gordon on the porch.
Yeah.
And then she gets surprised, and we don't see who it is, and we don't really see anything else, but we don't see her again in this movie, so I think we're
Right.
led to believe that she dies.
Yeah, there was definitely something filmed with her, or I don't know if they filmed her death, but I do know they discovered her in the bathtub. I don't remember why they ended up not using it.
So I had read that there was either filmed or written a scene where Jason is a little molesty, and that they didn't want to include that because
Good.
one, it kind of humanizes the character more and like is just gross. So maybe that's what got cut out. Yeah. But I mean, we don't see her again, so
No.
I think it's safe to say she's dead. So now we see blonde girl changing clothes and getting ready for sex. And
Sarah,
Sarah,
who just
yes.
went upstairs after having that conversation with Bob Lowe.
And it's sweet. Yeah, she's getting ready to get her Bob Lowe on.
Shower sex with Bob Lowe.
And so now Trish and Tommy have gotten home and they are realizing that the power is still out.
Yes.
And so
and
now
they can't find their mom.
exactly.
Or the
yeah.
dog.
That's true.
Or the dog, yeah. So Trish goes out to investigate and she gets to the tent, except it's empty now. And
Yes.
so she goes in and she
She just like hangs out in the tent.
she does because it's raining.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
then she sees or doesn't see a shadow appear by the tent, and then a machete slash the tent.
Right.
And then it's
Rob. He just slashed his own tent.
yeah, like an idiot. It's raining,
Exactly.
and he cuts a hole in his tent
I
like
know.
like an animal.
Right.
No, that's what people do.
And
Oh,
he's
my
like,
bad.
What? Right.
He had to fix a flat, and he could just
Right.
use that foam.
Sometimes it's hard to find the zippers. You know?
That's what it is.
It's like when they're buried in the zipper cover.
But if you look at the front of it, it's the whole tent's open
Exactly.
Fix a flat.
for a tent.
Came up with that. Somebody created that over just creating like a pump.
Goodyear, this is not a joke. Goodyear has a tire tread that regrows its own tread. So you'll never have to replace your tires again.
Is it self-aware?
I don't know.
I don't believe it.
Yep. Right now, the only problem with it is they scream when you drive.
Right. They're like, please don't drive. No.
All right, let's move on.
All right. All right. So now Crispin and Crispin Twin are having their sweet pillow talk. So Crispin is showing all of his anxiety by asking if he's a dead fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
my God.
She's like, oh, that's a normal
You're
thing to
the
say.
best ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she says you're spectacular.
Now
or
she's
some
like
shit
Mick
like that.
Jagger
Says-
at this point. I mean, she just-
She says incredible.
I love the way you stop me up.
Ooh.
Yeah, she does progressively get more British.
She does, yeah. Did you say I love how you stop me up?
Start me up.
Start me up.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a Rolling Stones
It's a Rolling Stone song.
So then they start kissing. But this is when we realize that Crispin Glover kisses just like he dances.
Oh, yeah, it's
'Cause he's
insane.
like bird attacking her face.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is pecking at her.
But she's into it, man.
Well, she's a great actress.
Well, because she's British. And so now we're cutting back to the old-timey porn, and Crispin Glover comes downstairs and,
And
like...
hands teddy bear her panties, which I find very weird.
Talk about John Hughes.
I know,
That got
right?
very John
Yeah.
Hughes.
Is that a real thing that happened in the 80s?
No.
To like take
Well, I
girls'
was-
underwear?
I mean, I was like 8. I wasn't having sex in the 80s, but
Yeah, I was
You're
born
no
in the
court.
80s, so I wasn't having sex either.
I've never had a friend or I've never heard
You
of that
get like
happening.
trophy
no.
underwear?
No, I've
Yeah.
never heard of that.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Well, how would that
Right.
even be proof? It's like, oh, so you could have gone in a room and taken something out of a drawer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that signifies that you had sex.
Exactly.
And I mean, even in 84, I mean, make tape.
Yeah.
No, never make a tape.
Make a VHS handheld tape.
All right, so now Crispin Glover stops being a dick and he goes into the kitchen looking for a corkscrew to like celebrate with some wine.
Yeah, he wants to open some wine, but he
Right.
does get corkscrewed.
He does.
This
He
is
gets
the,
screwed.
Where's the damn corkscrew?
Yeah. And then he gets stabbed in the hand with the corkscrew by
Yeah.
Jason, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets
yeah.
what, a knife to the face or something?
I think-
It's-
yeah.
It's gruesome.
Yeah, it's like
It
it's like
is.
sideways in his face. So it's like from his head to like the bottom of his cheek.
And so now Crispin Glover twin is still alive.
And she's at the window looking like, oh, look, my sister's bike is still here. That's weird. And then Jason throws her, he like from the outside of the window grabs her
Yeah, he's just, like hanging out.
and then throws her out.
He's like, I'm pretty sure someone's going to come look out this window.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Hang right
definitely.
here.
So I'm gonna hover outside this window
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
prepare. But see, he like grabs her and throws her, and she lands on a car and then falls on the ground. So I guess she's dead.
Yeah, she's the only one that I think may have survived because
Right.
this wouldn't kill her and he doesn't do anything else to her.
Yeah,
that
I
we
mean,
know
she would
of.
definitely be injured, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
could kill her.
Yeah,
Conceivably.
absolutely.
Because she lands on a car. All right, and so now Rob is telling Trish about Jason.
And why he's there, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and he's there because her sister Sandra.
Because I collected every newspaper in the country.
Right,
Yeah.
he's got like his red string unrolled to lead him all the way here.
Absolutely. So he's trying to avenge his sister Sandra's death.
Or see if she's still alive.
Right.
Right,
Which
right.
could be possible.
I don't think she's been found, right?
Yeah, because it was only 2 days ago. So they're talking about who Jason is because he's a murderino, and he heard the episode they did on all of
Right,
the massacres.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of podcasts in 1984.
There were, yeah. So now Sarah and Bob Lowe are having some shower
They're
amore.
in
That's some
the
intense-
shower.
That's some
They
intense
are.
shower stuff.
It
yeah,
is, yeah.
I
man.
mean, pressing butts up against the.
Oh, yeah.
the
You see a
glass.
lot of butts.
And they're real
Yeah.
sweet, but I mean, I don't know if for my first time I would want it to be shower sex. Now back to Teddy Ruxpin, who is loving this old timey porn so much that he has to walk up to the screen and try to like fondle it.
It's so
He
he's
gets
so
to
dumb.
live way too long.
He
yeah, he
does.
honestly should have died well before Jason comes back.
Because
Yeah.
his scenes are intolerable.
But anyway, so the film reel runs out
Uh-huh.
and he turns around, but his back is like pretty much against the screen where they were projecting it.
Right.
And then a knife goes through the screen and hits him right in the head and then sort of stabs him down.
Right.
And he's dead. Yeah,
He is,
he's a
yeah,
goner.
yeah. And
Finally.
we're done with him. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So now back to the shower, and they're trying out a new technique called toweling, where the water the water is still running.
Yeah, that bothered me
Yeah.
so much. She pulls the towel into the shower while the water is still going.
Right, and then gets out, and she's gonna go, I guess, dry her hair, and she's trying to edge herself.
Right.
He says, "I think I'm in heaven," and that's really sweet. And then she says, "I think I'm in love."
And then he just goes, oh.
He's like,
he's like Seth
oh.
Rogen in Pineapple Express. I made a mistake.
But
Oh,
and then
man.
she says, "Meet me in the bottom bunk," and that's
Yeah.
like their little.
It is really sweet.
It's sweet.
I
yeah.
think she jumped to the L word way too fast.
I think she did
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
and maybe he didn't hear.
Oh, no, he heard.
Yeah.
That's why he was okay with dying.
Exactly. He was like, Jason.
He's like, how do I get out of this? Oh, murderer? Yes.
Sweet.
Dodged a bullet. Anyway, so Bob Lowe dies.
Yeah.
And then Sarah comes back in after half drying her hair. And then she
Yeah.
sees him dead. And then Jason starts to chase her, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's running down the stairs and
Yeah.
she's trying to open the door, and then he power move throws the axe through the door into her chest.
Oh, yeah, she dies. It's
Yeah.
insane.
All right, so now we're back at the Jarvis house, and because Corey Feldman is an electrician as well, the power's back on.
Right.
But Jason just disabled the phone. But we're in luck because he is also a phone repairman.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
this kid can do everything, and he's 8.
He's actually 12.
Oh, is he 12?
He is,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, Corey Feldman was 12 when he filmed
Yeah.
this
And they don't
movie.
address his age, so
They
that's fine.
don't,
We can
yeah,
just say
yeah.
he's 12.
So now they know that murder is afoot.
Yes.
So Rob and Trish are going next door, and Tommy's supposed to stay there and
And
hold down the fort.
Rob says, hold down the fort to a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So now they go in and they're creeping around the house next door. And Rob goes down into the basement, and Trish goes upstairs to look because it's really smart
Why
to
would you
split up.
separate? That's so dumb.
So now Gordon is there to help them investigate, and he gets scared and jumps out a 2-story window.
He like commits suicide.
Gordon the dog.
The
Yeah.
dog
It's insane, yeah.
Well, there are people that I've heard say they think Jason throws him. Like Jason's
You do
No.
not see that. Yeah.
No, he's just like, oh, fuck, I'm done.
Yeah, that
I'm
is
not
some
dealing with
Jen
this
level
shit.
projection.
That's true.
But yeah, I choose to believe he just felt the vibe,
Yeah.
and he was like, he just noped out, and he ran away. Like, he's fine. He just ran away and found a new home.
Did he bone
Yeah,
out?
he boned out. Yeah,
Because of dog bone?
we get it.
Oh, okay. All right. And so now this is when Tommy is going through
Yeah.
Rob's bag, and he's pulling out all of the articles summarizing the first couple of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he also sees the sketch of baby Jason.
Yeah, from the
or
very-
not baby Jason. Sorry,
Yeah.
like adolescent Jason. Yeah.
Dead Kid Lake Jason.
There you
yeah,
go,
from
yeah.
the very first movie at
Right.
the very end. So now Trish goes into the bathroom and she sees Kool-Aid blood all over the floor. And then she sees Rob Lowe, whose face has gotten stabbed through the shower door. She runs down to get Rob, who is down in the basement. And
Right.
so I couldn't, like, they were going up and down the stairs, and I'm not exactly sure why they
It
went
seemed
down
like
there.
Jason's hand grabbed Rob.
Yeah.
And then Rob goes down to face him.
Uh-huh.
And this is when Jason starts beating him with a wrench or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
that is terrifying.
It's brutal,
'Cause
man.
He's
Yeah.
just, and plus Rob's screaming like,
Mm-hmm.
he's killing me, and it's just horrifying.
Yeah, it is really
Right.
rough. And then she, standing there with a machete,
Mm-hmm.
runs away. She does
Yeah.
not try and save him.
Right.
And then 20 seconds later, after he's dead, she's like, you know what? I'm going to go back downstairs.
Exactly. Well, she's got to avenge him now.
It's so dumb.
Right. So she goes back downstairs and he punches through the stairs and grabs her leg.
Yeah.
But she stabs him or like bonks him with
She
the machete.
hits him with the side of the machete.
Right.
She does
Yeah.
not choose to slice at him. She like smacks him with it. It's
Right.
insane.
Well, and so she goes down and she sees Blue Shirt Twin on the stoop. Her
Right.
body.
Yeah.
And then she goes back and she sees Crispin Glover, who is like hand stabbed across
Yeah.
the
He's,
doorway.
like, nailed or
Yeah, in his
something.
best
Yeah.
Jesus Christ pose.
Exactly. And
exactly.
it is physically impossible for her to get out the door.
She could have gone under his legs. It's
Exactly.
insane.
It's
But
not
instead of
physically
doing that,
impossible.
she picks up a chair and smashes it through the window and climbs through it.
Right.
And then Jason, as he's chasing her, walks over to the Crispin Glover Jesus Christ pose and just yanks him
Ugh.
down. And you see the hands rip on the nails. It's so gross.
It is. It's terrible.
It's pretty rough, man.
Oh. And so she walks back to her house and she starts locking the doors. And she makes sure to lock the windows. And then she takes her hammer and nails and starts nailing the door shut.
Yeah.
But she forgets that those windows are made out of glass.
Yeah, they're not
and-
bulletproof. This is not Hush.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
to prove a point, Jason throws Rob, I think, through the window, and it breaks
Yeah.
two sets of windows.
Right.
Just gone, and then Rob's
Yeah.
dead body's on the floor. It's insane.
Right. And so while this is happening, because we haven't broken enough windows
Right,
yet,
right.
Jason reaches in and grabs Tommy through the window. Tommy is Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
But he doesn't pull him through because Sister is still able to go up and
Yeah.
smash him with a hammer and then like claw hammer him in the
Yeah,
neck.
she's using the top of it, like what you would
Yeah.
hit a nail with, because she was nailing in the door nails.
Yeah.
And then she turns it around with the claw side and just sticks it into the back of his neck.
Yeah.
And then he lets Tommy go.
All right, so he gets claw hammered in the neck, so he backs off and then immediately just walks through the door that's right next
Like
to this window.
busts through it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like he's the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah.
Hey.
I know. Well, that's Fat Albert.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. What is it?
The Kool-Aid man just, oh yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they go upstairs into Tommy's room and they close the door and push the shelf in front of it. And Jason knows where they are, though, and he shinings through the door.
Yeah, he's like, here's Jason.
or Michael. You made
Wait,
that
who is
joke
it?
while we were watching the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
You got it right. But
I
yeah.
thought I got it wrong again because I did get it wrong when we were watching
when
the
we
movie.
were watching
yeah.
the movie, you said, "Here's Jason."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because they're the same character.
But so while he's trying to shining into the door, she goes and picks up the television that Corey Feldman was playing video games on earlier and smashes his head.
Yeah, she electro smashes him.
She does.
And he like passes out on the floor. So they're
He
like,
does,
we're going to sneak out and you're going to run. You know, and so she tries to sneak past him and Corey's like sort of behind him or behind her. And he wakes up, and now they're separated.
Right.
She's on the stair side, and he's on the room side.
Yeah.
And Jason decides to chase after her and go downstairs.
Well, and he wakes up when she's right next to him and like almost axes her.
Oh, yeah,
like,
misses
right
her
next
very,
to her.
really close.
Yeah.
And then she runs back to the murder house. And this is where Corey Feldman gets back into hair and makeup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He decides his hair is like bugging him.
Yeah, he's like,
well,
my hair's too long.
Shaves his head with like a
plastic big razor.
Yeah. Well, so now Trish is going back to the murder house and Jason is run after her and she goes upstairs and then like jumps through the window to get out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are just like, I'm just going to jump out of a window.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever it takes to get away.
Right. But she gets up. She's okay because she didn't land on a car. So she's still okay.
Yeah, she's fine. Then she like hobbles back to the house and Jason's walking behind her.
Right.
And then he like attacks her and gets on her and starts like grunting and they're like fighting and she's like punching his face.
Yeah, he's like making noises.
And she machetes his hand too, and it goes like in between his two fingers in the middle. That was gross. But while this is going on, Corey Feldman is shaving his head.
Yeah.
And then he comes downstairs and he's like, "Remember me, Jason?
Yeah.
I'm you.
I'm you.
Yeah.
I'm your
I don't
inner
know why
child.
he thought this would work.
I
But
don't
it
know.
does
I know.
work.
And I don't know why. Yeah.
The cinema sense.
So now, while Jason is like transfixed on this,
Yeah, he's really coming after that
I
little
know.
boy.
It's,
Yes.
It's uncomfortable.
And so Trish sneaks up behind him and machetes his mask off, and that's when he sees that his face, one, is all messed up and looks completely different than the other faces we've seen.
This is our Goonies reference right
It
here
is,
because this
yeah.
is the guy from Goonies. Hey, you guys!
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
He has like a baby Ruth in his hand. In his hand, it's splurting blood.
Right. Well, and so now Corey gets the bloody machete and stabs him in the side of the head. And then, I'm not exactly sure how this happens, but he falls.
He falls to his knees and then falls forward. That's what
Yeah,
happens. And then his head slowly slides down as it's cutting his head off. It's a pretty good effect for
It
84.
is.
It's real gross. But then Trish and Corey Feldman sort of hug,
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
that it's over. And then Corey Feldman, out of the corner of his eye, sees Jason moving his fingers. So he goes full on Office Space on him
Yeah.
and starts to just swing the machete over and over
Like
and
going
over and over.
crazy.
Yeah.
And fun fact, we've talked a little
could
bit
blow up this whole
about
place.
how much this director was an asshole, but Corey Feldman has said he was picturing the director when he was stabbing
No
Jason
shit.
over and over and
Nice.
over again. Yeah.
That's an interesting thing for a 12-year-old to think, but all right.
Well, and so we get a fade to white.
Yes.
And we see Trish in the hospital, and the doctor's saying she's going to get a new shoulder. We just have to find a
Transplant?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
It
weird.
made
that
no
was
sense.
weird.
Do they
Yeah.
do shoulder transplants?
I don't think so.
They're just waiting for another teenage girl to die so they can use her shoulder.
Take her shoulder,
I don't think that's
yeah.
how it works.
But so they say people in extreme situations act out of character, and it was totally normal for your little brother to go ham and just kill
Yeah.
Jason like that. He totally wasn't picturing somebody
It
else.
was self-defense.
That's true, yeah. But so she wants to see Corey Feldman, and so he just like weirdly lurks into the room with his head. He's still got that weird bald cap on.
Well, I mean, he shaved his head, Jen. His hair's not going to grow back in 8 hours.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
They have to wait for a donor.
They had to get a donor hair.
The surgeon just got done talking to Corey Feldman.
Right.
When a small child dies, we'll give you more hair.
Right. Ugh.
It's insane. But anyway, so he comes in, they hug, and then Corey Feldman breaks the fourth wall and looks right at you in a creepy.
Evil eyes.
Oh,
Right.
it's so
Doo-doo-doo.
dumb.
Crazy eyes
It
is
is.
dumb.
And
that's the movie.
Yeah. After watching the movie, after talking about the movie, what did you guys think about it tonight when we watched it?
I don't think I like it as much as like fans like the fans of the series like it. It's not one of my favorites. But,
Sure.
It's a perfectly fine. It's fine. It's very middle of the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as these types of movies go.
What about you, Jen?
Of the 4 Friday the 13th that we've watched, the first one I love, but I like this one the best, except for the first one. So I
Yeah.
So
would
you
say,
like
I
the
like-
second best?
Yeah,
I like this
second
better.
best.
I definitely like this better than the third one.
I do too,
I think
yeah.
I'll take the second one over it though. But-
Yeah, I'll say that after the third one, I think anything would be better.
Yeah.
But this one I thought was better.
I thought
and
good,
I
yeah.
didn't hate it because there's not really any jump scares in it.
Yeah.
And that's really what gets me. There were some things that like irked me and like it was weird and gross and I didn't
Right.
love. Well, let's do box office.
All right.
So what do you guys think the budget for this movie was in 84?
I think it was pretty low.
8 million.
I'm going to say 2 million.
Yeah, it was 2.6 million.
Boom.
It was the 80s though. So like if you
Yeah.
adjusted for inflation, you're probably closer to 8 million. So what do you guys think it made? And it didn't have a worldwide release. It was domestic. So what do you guys think it made in its domestic release?
It made a decent amount, like 42.
Oh, yeah? I think,
do you think, Jen?
I'm going to say 10.
Okay. It made 32 million. So if you adjust for
Nice.
inflation, it made almost 90 million adjusted for inflation. It came out Friday the 13th, April 13th, 1984.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came out, it was top of the box office that week,
Oh, nice.
beating Police Academy, Romancing the Stone,
Oh.
Graystroke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, which it has to be horrible and I have to see it, and Splash.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it did really well. Its opening weekend, it made $11 million. So like it made 5 times its budget back in the first week. So that's amazing. That's great.
That's why it wasn't the final chapter.
I know. That's why they went on and made more. I'm
They're
sure.
like,
I'm sure.
oh, well, maybe we shouldn't stop.
Yeah, maybe it's not the final chapter. Sorry.
Right.
Let's get into Jen's fun facts.
All right. So, fun facts. They wanted this to be the final chapter. There's rumors that the studio was kind of annoyed by it and just kind of wanted this franchise to be done. And so they specifically titled it the final chapter so that they would have to make it the last one.
Well, there you go.
And that's why Tom Savini came back. This is the first one to have 2 survivors at the end.
Yeah, Final Girl and
Yeah,
Final Boy.
And I like both of them.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about the director, Joseph Zito. I thought he was a pretty effective director because I thought
Yeah.
the movie was done
I
pretty
think it's
well.
good, yeah.
He's like a professional. He can make a movie.
Right, but
Look,
apparently
look at
he
the
was
movie.
an asshole. And they had a small budget, so they had to do a lot of their own stunts. So part of what made this guy a bad director is that he didn't really seem to care about his actors too much because his head was actually getting slammed in the shower.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then Jody, who was in the lake,
Mhm.
she got hypothermia because it
What?
was so cold. Judy, yeah, sorry.
Samantha, whatever.
Yeah, the director wouldn't let her get out of the lake in between takes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and so you were saying you had
Well,
more.
Ted White, the guy who plays Jason, he actually threatened to, I think, kill Joseph Zito at one point or something, or beat his ass.
if he
was
didn't
like,
let her out of the
yeah,
lake.
that was that, and the shower scene. I
Mm-hmm.
think they did eventually put a little bit of padding up there because Ted White was like, "I'm not slamming this kid's head
Right.
into a shower."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the one that has to do that to these
Yeah.
kids. I'd feel bad, too.
Well, so he wrote this one too. Supposedly, there's a little writing shadiness because they
Yeah.
gave him more money to write it and direct it, and he took that money and he hired somebody to secretly write it.
No
So
shit.
he was outsourcing it. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
And like having like secret meetings with this guy and then getting on the phone and talking about what it was going to be. And so we talked about, you said it was released on Friday the 13th in April.
Yeah, 1984.
It was supposed to be released in October of that year.
Oh, no shit.
So they bumped
Wow.
it way up. So they only had 6 weeks of post-production.
Oh, damn.
Which, I mean,
That's
looks
real
pretty
fast.
good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because that was one of our criticisms of Event Horizon is because their post-production was so short.
But there was so much CGI in that.
That's
so,
true.
Oh, man, they fucked themselves on that.
Now, one thing I will say about this director is he did not want to use clips at the beginning of the movie. And they still did use the clips. But like we were saying, it's not like they just showed the first 5 minutes. Like it's
Yeah.
cut together so we see flashes and
Yeah.
start to put it
It is
together.
the best intro of all the Friday the 13th, except for the
It
first
is.
one that doesn't do the clips.
Exactly. Okay, so the nurse who we couldn't figure out her name, but she has a name tag on at the beginning, and it is R. Morgan, and that is a reference to Robbie Morgan,
Oh.
who played Annie in the first movie.
She's the first
Oh.
victim.
Yeah, she's the first victim that gets killed. She doesn't ever actually get to the camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, Corey Feldman was a huge brat on the set of this movie.
Well, he was 12.
He was 12. Yeah, and I mean, you know.
I'm a huge brat now.
And he had been acting
Sure.
for probably like 8 years at that point or
Oh, had
something.
he? Well, but this was the first time he had ever seen boobs.
Well, that does not surprise me. There are a lot of
Exactly.
boobs in this movie.
Right. So
Yeah.
those that bouncing bed thing, I don't think he had to have any notes
Yeah.
from the director. That's just what he did.
He turned into a monkey.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so the first day of filming was on Halloween, and they actually took him trick or treating.
No shit.
Yeah, because he was
Yeah,
so
because
young.
that was a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know anybody trick or treated this far out into the woods. Rob. All right. And so my final fun facts are Crispin Glover is weird facts. Those were his own dance moves.
Does not surprise
I
me.
know, man. He was originally dancing to Back in Black by AC/DC.
No shit.
Yeah, but they took that and they cut it over. So there are some weird stories about him. He didn't want to rehearse one day because he was in a rain mood.
Oh my God.
And then there's a story about a submarine that I'm going to let Jonathan tell because I think you've got more facts about it.
Well, I think it was in the book Crystal Lake Memories. Corey Feldman said they went to a shop of some sort at one point, when they weren't filming, and he bought this little submarine toy.
It's like a toy yellow submarine.
Crispin Glover bought the submarine.
Okay.
Toy. Corey Feldman's telling the story. And then one day at lunch, they were eating by the lake. And so he paddled out to the middle of the lake and he stuck the submarine in the water. And of course, it fucking sank.
Yeah.
Because it's a submarine and that's what
That's
they
what
do.
subs do.
Well, yeah, they do. Plus, it's a toy.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just sank. And he got so upset, he refused to go back to filming until they helped him find it.
Yeah,
right?
he shut down the production.
Yeah,
until they
he
What?
wanted to
retrieved it.
dive in the lake and try to find this fucking submarine.
I know. And that was half their
What?
stunt budget.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Holy shit, that's so dumb.
No, isn't that weird?
It's almost interesting that Crispin Glover didn't really work a lot after these.
Well, it's
yeah.
really weird too. Corey Feldman is telling a story about you being weird.
Yeah.
Like,
That is true.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Consider the source. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. Okay. Well, thank you for your fun facts,
Those are
Jen.
my fun facts.
All right. Well, let's do the scary scale, Jen.
All right. Hey, listeners, our scary scale is a scale we use to rank how scary we thought the movie was. It's not the quality of the film, it's how scared we were tonight when we watched it. Our 1 example is Ghostbusters. Our 10 example is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All right, Jonathan, what you got?
I think I gave the other ones a 1 or 2. I'd give this a 3.
All right.
I was going to give it a 3 too.
Okay.
Because it's not really scary, but there are a lot of body horror type stuff that's really creepy, and I didn't like. It's sort of ugh.
Yeah.
Like that's my
I mean,
general feeling was
I
ugh.
think the Rob death alone is probably worth a couple of points. So.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, which, I mean, there is some body death, but I think it's so clear that it's not real that it doesn't really bother me that much. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's particularly scary, but it is scarier than the last 2, I think, that we've watched.
That's
So
fair.
yeah, and
Agree.
that's our scary scale.
All right. So this week you guys made me watch
Friday the 13th.
part 4.
Part 4. Yes.
Next Monday is our Cabin in the Woods episode.
It
It's our 100th
is,
episode,
yes.
which we teased last episode because
We
this is
did.
technically a special bonus episode.
This is. Mhm.
Yeah. So guys, again, watch Cabin in the Woods. If you haven't seen it yet, this is your 2-day warning. You have 2 days left.
And if you've
to
already
watch
watched
it.
it,
Yeah.
watch it again.
So guys, check it out. Now we're going to do a 5-star review, and Jen's going to read it. But
I am.
and she's looking for one right now. But while she's doing that, let me tell you, if you want us to read your 5-star review, leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, normally we have Mikey read them, but since he is, I guess, caught
He's
up at
working,
work, we're going to have Jen do it this time.
All right.
Did you find one, Jen?
I did.
Let's do
yeah. This is from Scolding Slinky 1.
What?
All right. I love this podcast. I found it while searching to see if anyone else liked the movie Grave Encounters. Nope, not kidding. It's my favorite and I won't take it back. Hey, we liked that movie.
And that was the first Mikey episode.
It
He came on
was.
just as a guest that episode.
He did, yeah. The hosts do a great job of exploring the themes of the film as well as describing exactly what they found scary or interesting, be it cinematography, sound design, creature design, etc., all while making it sound like you're hanging out with friends.
Aw.
Thanks. P.S. A couple of movie suggestions along the lines of Grave Encounters in that love it or hate it kind of way. Hell House LLC.
People have been telling me I'd hate that movie.
You will. I really liked it, but I
Ugh.
love found footage. Yeah, that's good.
I hate found footage.
Yeah, you won't like it.
Yeah. Well done B-list horror flick with a questionable ending. Stay Alive, which I haven't actually seen. Released in theaters about a killer video game.
Ooh, interesting.
So you might be into that. Young Jimmy Simpson, Frankie Muniz. Ha, it's got it all.
Well, interesting.
Nice. Thank you so much for that review.
Yeah, it's an awesome 5-star review.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
awesome.
Scolding Slinky.
Yes, thank you.
So we are a member of the Consequence Podcast Network.
we
so if you could
are.
do us a favor, check out some of their shows like Kyle Meredith with This Must Be the Gig, The Opus, The Assembly,
Yeah.
The Fifth Dimension,
And my 2 favorites, Halloweenies and Losers Club.
which I think are officially back, right?
They are
Yeah.
officially back, yes.
So if you want to follow us on social, go to @HorrorVirgin, or if you want to follow us all individually, it's @Jenn Ferratu, @Tajay Awesome, @SamLoomis13,
Yeah,
right,
that's-
Jonathan?
Yeah, that's me on Twitter. Yeah.
Damn, he's a good follow, guys. Check him out. Actually, why don't you talk about some of the other stuff you're doing? Because you do a lot of stuff with the CinemaSins group.
Right.
Yeah, I do. Well, I have my own podcast
Yeah.
that I do with Aaron Dicer and Danae Hughes. It is called Behind the Sins, where we just kind of talk about what's going on at CinemaSins, TV Sins, music video sins.
Awesome.
We talk a lot about weird shit and just be goofy.
Nice.
And then obviously you can check out the videos every week, CinemaSins, music video sins, TV sins. times where we're releasing a video every day, and on one of those channels almost. At least I think it was 5 videos a week. I guess it's not every day.
That's
but,
a lot, though.
It is.
It's a lot of content.
It really
You're
fucking
slinging
is,
that
man.
tent,
Yeah.
just like Rob in
And,
this movie.
But we're having a lot of fun. So just come join us. Have fun with us.
Absolutely.
We actually do love movies. I promise.
No, yes, you do. Yeah, it's awesome.
If you want to check out some of our shit, go to horrorvirgin.com where you can see Jenn's blog. A link to the merch store is also there. And if you want to help financially support the show, please do by going to patreon.com/horrorvirgin. We have a lot of great levels and a lot of great perks up there.
Yeah.
But if you can't afford to financially support the show, please just join the Facebook group. You can get daily free content there. It's awesome. It's a very supportive community, guys. So check it out.
On there. I agree.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So that's going to be it from us, guys. I'm Jenn, and I'm real tired.
Yeah, I am too. And I'm your horror virgin, Todd. And Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having
We really
me.
appreciate
Yes,
it.
it was so much fun. And guys, I hope you're having a very fun Friday the 13th. This might be one of my favorite days of the year. I have so much fun, and I love watching these movies. So I'm Jenn.
Jonathan.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd, guys.
Have
Have an amazing week.
Have an amazing
We'll be
week.
dead fuck.
Yeah, dead fuck nerds.
Bye.
Consequence Podcast Network.